I figured, like, let me film this video on my bed, even though it's a really nice, chill day today. The clouds are finally out. In Montreal, it gets so hot that, like, some days we need to just be cloudy. And oh, my cat just woke up. She crawled from underneath the bed. She's also grateful for this bed. I am so grateful for this bed. To have a bed, like, lately in the mornings, I've been waking up and I've just been feeling so grateful to have a bed. Oh my gosh. Like, it's honestly one of the biggest privileges that I think a lot of people take for granted. I feel like it's very easy to take it for granted once you have a bed, especially like a nice bed. Once you have a nice bed, you don't really think about it that much. Like, you don't think about having a bed until you don't have a bed, or you have like a bed that you don't like, which is a whole other thing. But like, lately in the mornings, I've just been waking up feeling so grateful that I have a bed. I like wake up and I like take a second to be like, I'm waking up comfortable, I'm waking up safe, but mostly like, I think it's really important and really nice to have that gratitude, especially for our bed, because then in the moments when maybe you don't sleep as comfortable, or if you're in someone else's bed, or maybe you're camping, you don't got a bed, or the bed's not that good, it's like you can relish in that memory and that comfort of like safety and comfort of a bed. And also, I think it's important to have gratitude for the building blocks of your life. And sleep, like, sleep is such a privilege. I think it's really easy to forget that sleep is such a privilege. Comfortable sleep is such a privilege that not everyone has. Like, not everyone gets to have that privilege of like comfortable rest, comfortable sleep. So many people are living with like insomnia, and if it's not insomnia, then like just discomfort, which is crazy. When I was younger, I didn't have a bed. I did not have a bed. Growing up as an immigrant, my mom is Indian, my dad's Nigerian. I grew up as an immigrant, although coming here very young. Like, my family was very much an immigrant family. And the apartment that I grew up in, we had basically two sleeping situations. One was like a bunk bed, and my dad slept in that. Nobody really slept, nobody else except for my dad. And then me, my mom, and my two sisters, we slept in a big queen bed. Me, my mom, and my two sisters, that's four of us. We slept in the queen bed, lengthwise. So, not in the way that you usually sleep in a bed, but like the other way. So it was kind of shorter. Everyone's legs were like going in all different directions, not like this way. They were like going sideways and stuff. And yeah, I slept in bed with almost my whole family. And then at a certain point, I moved out of my mom's house and I moved into my sister's when I was like 16. And then I was sleeping on her couch. I was sleeping on her couch for like 2 years. So I never had my own bed. I never had my own bed until I was 17 in first year. In first year of college, university, is when I first had my own bed. And it was a single, and it was not that comfortable. It was like really like it was like thin and like a summer camp type bed. It wasn't that great, but it was my own bed. And my hands low-key like shaking. The microphone is shaking, my hand is shaking. Yeah, like I didn't have my own bed until I was 17. And then when I got my own apartment, I moved into my own apartment. I think I was 18 or 19 or something. I think I was 19. And then I got my first real bed. It was my first real bed. It was a full bed, a double bed. It was comfortable. I chose it myself. And it meant a lot to me. I bought it myself with my own money. I chose it. I bought it. I bought the bed frame and everything. And it just meant so much to me. My first real bed, it meant so much to me. And I was very choosy on like who would sleep in my bed. I wasn't that choosy, but it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me to then choose to share my bed, you know? And then for a while I was like tree planting, which is a crazy whole other story. I was tree planting, and so I was camping basically for 2.5 months, 3 months, 2.5 months. I was camping, and I had which I liked camping, but after a while, it's like everything just ends up getting wet. Everything's perpetually damp, and you're sleeping in the the sleeping bag, and it starts to get dirty, and it's like it starts to get uncomfortable after 2 months, you know? And that was like made me also grateful again for having a bed. And certain things just happen to you in life that like changes your perspective of like just gratitude of like having your own bed, sleeping in your own bed. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to have sleepovers and cuddle and sleep with other people, but just like it's such a privilege to have your own bed that you're comfortable in, that you enjoy sleeping in, that feels safe. Because if you think about it, like sleeping is such a vulnerable thing. It's such a vulnerable thing. Like, if you think of us as humans and like our human conditioning throughout time and memoriam, like there is a point in time, like back in the day, back, before society as we know it, where sleeping in and of itself is a huge privilege of like you have to have somewhere comfortable and safe to sleep, like in the jungle. When we were back in the day in the jungle, living in the forests, you have to find somewhere comfortable and safe from harm, from animals, from predators, from, like natural disruptions. Like, you have to find somewhere safe. You have to feel safe enough to like sleep and like really, really rest. Like, that in and of itself is like a challenge. So, like, sleeping is just so vulnerable. Like, you're completely out of the loop. Like, it's such a vulnerable position and space to be in. Like, it's so important to feel safe. One of the techniques that I use to keep my deep gratitude for my bed is the way that I am in my bed. So in the morning, I will spend some time in my bed. I will cuddle myself. I'll caress myself, do some tapping, do some somatic touching, say good morning to myself, say good morning to my cats. I will write in my dream journal. I will pull some cards. I'll meditate. I'll do like my morning bed ritual, and then I will make my bed. And then once I make my bed, I do not get under the covers again. If I need to nap, I'll nap over the covers. I'm intentional about that, but I try to actually not go back in my bed for the rest of the day. I try to not spend time in my bed. I try to keep my bed a place where I sleep and only sleep. And I feel like that intentionality where like I wake up in the morning, I do my bed routine, and then I'm a little bit sad that I have to leave my bed. I'm like a tiny bit like sad, like, oh, I wish I could stay in my bed longer, but I know that I have a day to live and I will be back in this bed later in the night when it's time to sleep. And I keep my bed a space where it's like, this is my sleep like this is where I sleep, and I keep it very intentional. I try not to watch movies in bed. I try not to eat in bed unless it's like a special occasion where I'm like grieving or I'm sick or something. But I try not to do I try not to be in bed throughout the day, only when I go to sleep and then wake up in the morning and have my bed routine. And that has allowed me to keep myself very, very grateful for my bed and being in bed, and like it's very intentional and I'm excited to go to bed. Like it's like exciting for me. It's like a place of rest and release and safety, and that has allowed me to be very, very grateful. I mean, obviously, I'm filming this video in bed right now, and I will sometimes like do things like this in my bed, but I'm filming this video in bed because I'm talking about my bed, so I wanted to be here. But I like don't spend time in bed, and I I feel like that is a part of why I am so grateful for when I am in bed. I wanted to share that.